a podcast about nothing.
So this episode, this conversation is about complexion and
the lack thereof representation of the complexions of the dark hues in the world.
Wow, look at how we sat.
I was just gonna say, it's like,
look at this.
Davina's racist.
So you agree you're on the fairer side.
I was trying to switch it up, honestly. I was.
You ain't saying nothing though.
But look
What
how
else
we
was to say?
naturally sat though.
Does this happen
This
in real
feels like
life?
science class in middle school.
I mean, I know it happens with like black kids in predominantly white schools because I know my group of friends did it. My group of black friends, we all stayed together.
100%. You
I
go to your
did it.
tribe. It's where you're comfortable.
Yeah, and it wasn't on purpose. Like we weren't like only the black people. It's just that we just migrated
Yep.
to ourselves.
Why do you think that is?
Because of what we were taught.
What do you
Also,
mean?
it's probably just where you feel most comfortable. Like,
Yeah, that's what I think too.
where am I gonna sit with the Caucasians with boat shoes? I don't want to wear Simply Southern.
I can't even lie.
You say what?
I said I'm comfortable around black people. I can't lie.
I'm more comfortable. Like, I wouldn't want to live in an all-white neighborhood.
That's funny. I just said that today. I wouldn't.
I definitely wouldn't. We know.
Definitely wouldn't want to do all black
I
either.
could. Doesn't mean I want to, but I could. But
I-
that's what I grew up with, so.
True, which we definitely will get into.
Did you grew up in an all white neighborhood though?
No, but I wasn't in my neighborhood. Like, I would wake up and escape and go to the all-white neighborhood with the all-white kids and the all-white school. That's where I spent the night.
True.
I didn't grow up in my own neighborhood. You know what I mean?
True.
So, but I mean, when I got the chance, I definitely gravitated towards
Living around the
my kind of people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I about to say living around white people.
Did you feel more comfortable or?
Yeah, it was just nice to have. I mean, like, for example, like my high school, I was the only black person in my grade. So I didn't have other people to gravitate to.
True.
You know, but then I befriended people in grades younger than me, older than me. You know, my friends outside of my own grade were all black.
Literally.
It just so happened that
Really?
my grade,
Yeah.
all my friends outside of my grade are black. It just is everyone who was in my grade happened to be white, so that's who I befriended.
Dang, I didn't even register it. But now that I think about all your friends, it's like they were either the grade right under her or right above her.
Yeah.
That makes sense. She held it down. She held it down.
Had to.
So, for the two of you, being of
Okay.
I mean, well, okay. Let's start with where this passion and this conversation came from.
where it come from?
Your daughter.
Oh,
Your child.
facts.
It did, and I say that because as a brown skin, as Monique let me know that it's different. It's levels to this, but as a brown skin, I recognize that it's not something that I have in the front of my mind anymore. And I say anymore because I do recognize a time when I heard about the differences and the colorism and it being an issue all the time. So now that I've gotten older, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't, change my life on a daily basis. But to hear all the passion that I hear in Jaden's voice when she speaks about noticing the differences and stuff like that, it reminds me of high school because that's how my mind was in high school. Like, I noticed the difference. Not that it bothered me, but I recognized it. So we're discussing this essentially because of you.
That is true. Jaden first brought it up to me when we were watching the show.
All American.
Why was I about to say Homeward Bound?
What?
I don't know.
But All American, which is a football show on Netflix, and everyone that was dark skinned was from the hood, right? And they were all men for the most part.
Yeah.
The only girl that was dark skinned.
No, there was a girl. Remember the main character's girlfriend, but she was also dark skinned.
The main character's girlfriend.
The dude, his ex-girlfriend or whatever, the one that
the
one that did poetry, smoked sage, and was a protester.
Yeah, but her father, yeah, she smoked sage.
Not smoked it, but
Burned it.
Burned
burned
it. Smoked, burned.
Yes, true. And then everyone who was from Beverly Hills or Bel Air was either light skinned
Or white.
And the only dark-skinned guy was married to a white female. I love the show, but Jaden brought it to my attention. She was like, it's a good show, but it has some issues, and you can tell that it wasn't written by black writers. It definitely was how white people see the black community. And then she went on and wrote a whole list and
of all the problems.
she went in deep in explaining the issues with colorism
and the repetition that she sees. And it's so weird because you don't recognize it until you actually pay attention to it.
Until somebody brings it up. Because I never thought about it, but like I said, my mom, she struggled with her complexion, and she's very light skinned. I mean, she's gotten darker over the years. I think that comes with age. I don't know.
Really?
Maybe, yeah. She was a lot lighter when she was older. I mean, when she was younger. It's like her tan never went away. But that's a conversation for another day.
That's deep.
It is.
Permanent tan.
Can I get one? But have you ever felt, I guess, discriminated against because of your complexion, or have you ever been treated different based on?
I mean, discriminated, no. But has it been brought to my attention that I was about to say,
what does
darker?
Discrimination mean?
Yes. You know, again, my circumstances growing up were different. So I was around a bunch of white people. So if they were even checking for me, you know what I mean? Like, let's be real. Most of the white people were dating the other white people. Nobody was really dating me. So outside of high school, you know, like I was never discriminated against, but I was always told, like I think I said before, I was always told I was cute for a dark-skinned girl. You know what I'm saying?
That still blows my mind.
I didn't realize that wasn't a compliment until recently.
That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, I mean, well, I know it's not a compliment, but, and in my mind, I was like, okay, well, I'm still cute, so it's okay.
Like I'm pretty.
Yeah,
that's
like that was my thing.
It.
Was like, okay, well, I'm pretty, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But it was always, oh yeah, like she's, or you know, I've been in situations in my mid-teens, you know, when you start to like boys and you and your girlfriends start to go on double dates and things, or try to meet other people, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, she's dark, but she's cute, or things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have to preface it with like, yeah, she's dark skinned, but she's cute, or she's cute for a dark skin. You know,
and it doesn't bother you because you don't. That's why I said it didn't bother me because I had the confidence in myself to not really give it that much attention. So when you hear, you like, all I hear is I'm cute. Like,
for me, but I think it's also, we're just those kinds of people.
Yeah.
You know, but for somebody else, like that would be very hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Like that you feel. Because it's almost like, yes, I'm cute, but you're always, it's like there's levels, right? And I always feel like, okay, well, you can go up to about here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're cute, but you're always going to be
dark
black,
skin.
Dark. So it's like, you can only be but so cute if you're black.
Dang.
You know?
I didn't even think about that. Well, F y'all.
I've never thought about that either.
That's why I was
like, ain't no levels to this.
Yeah, like, we were having that conversation. I was saying, you know, for me, I think that's what's hard. Because, again, I know we'll get into it as the conversation progresses, but, you know, it took me years before I realized that light-skinned black women also feel marginalized and discriminated against. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But I think it was harder for me to feel sympathetic towards them because I felt like even though maybe other dark-skinned women judge you or do whatever, you're still always going to be considered attractive no matter what. Right? Like you start off, like you start off cute just because you're light. And then they'll go and say, okay, but, and try to pick out flaws. But because I'm dark, I automatically will start off unattractive. And then it's like, oh, but she's cute, this.
But this feature
she's
helps.
dark, but, oh, she's got a big butt. Oh, she's got a nice body. Oh, she's got whatever. Whereas if you're light, it's like, okay, well, she's light-skinned, so you automatically think she's cute. And then you got to start looking for. So for me, it was like, okay, yeah, maybe black-skinned or dark-skinned women will chastise you or say whatever, but at the end of the day, you're always still going to be considered cute.
Outside of
even if within your own female circle, if women, light or dark skinned women, are commenting to you, it's still, even within those jokes, you're still considered attractive.
That's true.
But it's a different
never thought of it
standard
that way.
for black or brown or dark skinned women.
But I've also never considered myself to be light skinned.
That's a different issue.
You are a true
light. I don't think you're
caramel
light.
complexion.
Yeah,
she's a true caramel complexion.
You're a nice mid-tone. I call them mid-tones. Yeah, like you're not. I wouldn't say you're light skin, but
you're
also
definitely that NC-43 they were trying to get.
Wow, is that the makeup?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you know they tried to NC-45 everybody at
Adrian,
Mac
I
at
remember
one
Adrian
point.
cussed me out one time because we went to somewhere and I. In my own mind, I think because I just associate, okay, Monique's black, I always go for the darkest shade.
The darkest fucking sorry, excuse me. The darkest shade. That makes me so mad.
Because I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go for whatever's the blackest makeup they have.
The one that's always all
It's always like, what are you doing? I'm like,
no.
I'm like, but then she's like, Monique, like just because you're dark doesn't mean like
no,
you have
you're
to
not
buy
one
the
shade.
blackest.
She buys the darkest and the most red foundation every time, and that's not her shade.
But no one knows that stuff.
You learn it, but learn different. Okay?
Don't be learning what you done learned.
And especially
learn
because
the
it's
right.
like you see all these options, but it's just you go to think about
It's
it in your
ingrained.
head.
You're like, oh,
you're
it's made
engraved
for
in your
me.
head.
You're dark. Go to the darkest one. Like,
You go to your dark skin.
We're not taught about undertones and stuff like that.
No, and I had to, we've had this discussion of we can all be the same shade, but there's undertones can be completely different.
I learned
you
that
get what I'm
later.
saying?
What's your undertone?
I do have a red undertone.
Yeah.
She's red and neutral. She's not just completely red. It's like the top. I can see it, but that's the conversation.
You can't.
For
This is
another
layers
day.
of makeup. Because my face is a whole different color than the rest of my body. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
just
but
saying.
like legit.
Yeah, but it took me a. You looking?
It's definitely a mixture, but it's not just. It's just not one thing. And it took me a while to realize it because, like I said, when you go to Mac, at one point they were trying to NC-45 every black person who walked in there.
I was a 55 for a while.
I learned that I was a 50. I'm a 47 in the concealer if I want to highlight. They changed and added some more stuff. It's difficult.
Who is doing that?
But if you went into Mac at one point, it was if you're dark skinned, you're black. Everybody I know, we could be 7 different complexions. Everybody had the same concealer.
And
pot.
it's not just me that decided, oh, okay, you're just gonna get the blackest shade. When you go into these stores and they do your makeup, they will pick up that darkest shade and try to put it on you. And then they're like, oh, that's too dark for you. And I'm like, well, you're making the same mistake and the same assumption I'm making. You're assuming, oh, you're black, I'm gonna get the black one. So anyway,
that's deep. I didn't even think.
Do you have that problem, Jaden?
What, finding my shade?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but not really. Like, I go to the...
Yeah, but not...
Yeah, that's a different
I go to, like...
I can't relate.
I go to, like, the lightest black shade. Like, I'm, like, right...
Tan.
Yeah.
Like, you start off with...
Like, I'm always, like, right where the white people stop, if that makes sense.
Like, warm tan.
Yeah.
You're there, Tan. You're there summer after the...
Yeah.
You're like, hey, here we go.
Am. Yeah,
Dang,
that's where I go, and then I have to maneuver through that. But I don't have that's just where I go because I'm light skinned. That's where I gravitate towards. But